And doot. And we are live.
What is going on? Thank you for hanging out with us. This is the IT in the D show post season finale of The Mandalorian. We're hanging out here in our respective homes. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. Randy at Do the Twitters is doing the Twitters. You can find us online at itinthed.com. Do us a favor. Give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Yeah, and obviously end of the year, we're not doing any events this year.
We can do it in the Great Lakes Mall food court. I heard that's packed. You can eat, you just can't sit down. So maybe we can have standing.
I thought it was seated while you were eating. Wait,
no.
What?
You can eat, and when you can stand and eat. In the Great Lakes, I just saw a post on it again, and there's a picture of everyone standing and eating.
Okay.
And you can go to we can go to the movies, but we just can't buy popcorn.
That makes sense.
Right. Because sitting next to someone, fine. Popcorn, you get the Rona.
Well, you can't wear a mask while you're eating popcorn.
No, but if you're not sitting next to anyone.
No, you have to wear your mask the whole movie, Bob.
That's fine. I always joke. I always cut the middle out, then I can put the straw through that.
Right. You just feed the popcorn through the hole in the thing. Yeah, no.
Right.
But yeah, so God, this is why we're gonna be locked down forever. People are stupid. And by people, I also mean government, because you know me as supportive as I have been about everything, like the restaurant and bar lockdown. I'm really starting to have a lot of questions. I really, really am. Especially in light of stories like that and everything else going on.
When there's rumors, you can go across a border that's open, and
so not Canada.
And you can pretty much go not Canada, no, the other way, and pretty much do as you wish.
Yeah, actually, I saw DeWine, the governor, was supposed to be providing some sort of update on the state today. I didn't catch what the results of that were or what he actually said. I'll have to give him a plug.
But they have 10 o'clock curfews because 10:01,
Well, I mean, the Rona is a night hunter, clearly.
It's the fog. It's the fog. You got to hide in the church when it rolls in, right at 10 o'clock. You put on the air raid sirens.
And I do. I think that's the part that truly is, I think, the part that drives everybody nuts is just how arbitrary and silly it all seems to be sometimes. But anyway,
if we had some sort of centralized government entity that could,
but we don't. So moving on.
Yeah. And I'm light about it, and I do that just to keep my sanity, not because I actually am, just for the record.
We know.
If I can't joke about stuff, I might.
Oh, dude. Well, at this point, we'd all be clinically insane and and be window licking. But no. So hey, we the Mandalorian dropped their season finale.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah,
if you have not seen it.
I'd give us a good 10 minutes this time around at a minimum, and that depends on if anybody else hops in. But yeah, so wow. I think sums it up nicely.
Just when you thought Filoni and Favreau couldn't do any better,
dude. I'm not gonna lie. I love the meme that I posted with the two little kids with the AT-AT and the snow speeder,
totally.
And they're like huge grins on their faces, like, oh yeah, rare footage of Filoni and Favreau coming up with Mandalorian scripts. Yeah, pretty accurate.
Well, that's been the running joke. Who would have thought Gutter from PCU would have saved Star Wars? Like I didn't exhale.
Yeah.
Could you blow me where the Pampers is? Yeah, that guy saved Star Wars.
Yeah, but mother of God.
Well, here's the thing that they're doing. So it's kind of like what Rogue One did for Vader. So we'll start from the beginning of the episode. But what I want to say is they're making characters who weren't badass, like finally have their badass moments. Like Boba Fett was a bumbling buffoon until kind of now, and now he's like, okay, now I understand why he's one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy, right? Like,
right.
IG-88, we never got to see him fire a bullet.
Although Fennec is really taking care of most of the heavy work, let's be real.
When you have Ming-Na Wen as the actress, you play to her strong suits.
Well, then here's something. I'm going to jump around real quick, but here's something I heard This is a rumor. This is not, but like, you know, that girl in the commander suit that has been on like the last 2 episodes, and she's been pretty prominent.
Yeah.
She's got like kind of olive skin, short hairish. Apparently they're saying she might be Sabine Wren because she looks like her in the cartoon, and she's been so prominent in these roles. Like, why would they make her so active and prominent? Like, you know what I mean? Because they haven't really shown the same commander twice, like just a sub character. And she called out a couple commands. I don't know exactly because, you know.
Okay, so I mean, an interesting theory.
The actress is Katie O'Brien.
Okay, but like, here's the thing that they were saying is she's a legitimate martial artist, and they were like, why would they let that go?
So
to
you're
waste?
kind of wasting her in that role.
So did they put her in that role so she can eventually become, you know, as
she's kind
progresses?
Had some bit parts on some other shows, or some not bit parts, but like minor secondary characters. She was on Black Lightning, and she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a few episodes. So she's kind of just rising, but I don't know.
It's kind of like all the people that they brought on with you know, karate or martial arts or MMA backgrounds.
Yeah, I don't know if she's a strong enough actress to carry a role like Sabine Wren. So
we want to just dive right into it.
Yeah.
All right. Who cried? I'll admit it.
Cried? No.
I totally cried
at the ending.
Yeah.
The goodbye.
Yeah.
Nah.
Not cried, but as much as me, it's like getting choked up and a couple like eyes wet, you know.
I didn't think it was a sad moment. I thought it was a happy and a good wrap
but
up.
It wasn't crying sad either. Yeah, no, it was like, it was kind of exhilaration. It was kind of like when you watch Rudy, dude, and Rudy gets to sack the quarterback and everybody's cheering and you're like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't get that reference at all.
Rudy.
Of course you don't.
Watch the movie, Randy. It's one of the world's greatest films.
Yeah, no, I mean, let's be real. So, I mean, you know, I think we've had a lot of discussions about, you know, people felt, you know, a lot of people felt let down by the sequel trilogy. You know, a lot of people, you know, boycotted Solo that shouldn't have, because that was really, you know, kind of the film that they were looking for the entire time. And so I think Mandalorian has basically managed to give us, I mean, they're anywhere from, you know, 38 to 45-minute episodes. So probably a good, 16 hours? 16 18
episodes.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's 16 episodes. So it's been like, we have probably 12, 13 hours
of just incredible content that, I mean, as much as I've defended the sequels, blows the sequels away.
What's the one thing that's brought the movies, the books, the video games, and the cartoons integrated them all together and brought them
honestly,
all
that's the thing that I truly appreciate about Favreau and Filoni. Hey, Becky.
Hey.
So
sorry.
No worries.
Sorry,
so for those not to know, Becky is a friend of mine. She's the inside voice that I get from the ICU and all the COVID information and all that kind of stuff. And she's also a giant Star Wars nerd who stayed up until 4 a.m. the night it was released to go ahead and watch it. And then
I definitely watched it Friday morning.
Yeah, but at 3 a.m. were you watching it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I watched it as soon as it.
Yeah, my sleep schedule's all jacked up.
So what was going through your mind? So X-Wings flying in, like at first I'm like, what, the old Asian chubby dude is gonna fly in and save us?
Oh, the guy from the cops from the last episode.
Yeah. I'm like, no. So then all of a sudden I see Black Robe, and dude, my mind is just racing.
Back to the one before that, when Cara Dune says, "Oh, great, one X-Wing, that'll help," or something like that.
Yeah.
That
oh yeah, we're all saved now.
Yeah. So I'm thinking,
but then as soon as Baby Yoda does the head cock and the ears perk up, it's like, okay, it's got to be a Jedi.
Well, then at first think it's Obi-Wan. Then I'm going timeline. I'm like, nope, 10 years after Jedi, not Obi-Wan. And I'm like, then I'm thinking, who that? Like, it's driving me nuts. Is it a generic? Is it Ezra? Like,
yeah, I was like, who could this possibly be?
The last person I thought was Luke Skywalker. That was the last person.
Well, and honestly, I put my first thought was Luke, because of X-Wing and Jedi. But then I went, no, they've made it clear they're steering away from the Skywalker timeline and the Skywalker saga through all this shit, so it can't be him.
And with all the other cartoon tie-ins they did this season, Ezra was like a shoe-in.
Ezra was a safe guess. Ezra was a safe guess. But as soon as you saw that glove,
it was the glove. It was like green lightsaber. It was still could be Ezra, could be somebody else. But then once you saw the glove, then you knew exactly who it was.
Well, that's the thing. I'm such an idiot. And I'm like,
I started screaming.
I'm like, Anakin. I'm like, well, no, wait, he's Darth Vader now.
Yeah, he's Vader already.
I had to think of someone and go timeline. Then where the hell are we? And then back and forth. And then it was just that could not have been a more emotional. And here's the thing, they kind of nailed it with the CGI. They showed though, if you saw, hold on a minute, we can reach back to. There's an actor apparently that looks just like Luke that timeline, like that.
Sebastian Stan.
And
I think that's a fake picture.
I mean, there is some photoshopping on that.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't understand why they didn't use him, because you look at like the CGI was good, and it probably wasn't until like the third time I watched it.
I mean, where I was better than Gollum eyes.
Yeah, it wasn't Tarkin.
His lip. Dude, I could do a sketch like flip book with stick figures that was better than Tarkin.
No.
Yeah. But no, so I mean, it's, but like that was off. But like I said, so I don't understand, especially with what they've talked about with, the Obi-Wan series and now a possible Luke Skywalker series. Why wouldn't they have used that moment to introduce that actor in that role? If they could make Mark Hamill today look like Mark Hamill, 40 years ago, you could have made that guy look enough like Luke that you could have pulled it off too.
Well, it was Hamill's voice though.
So he's a voice actor, use his voice.
Right.
And I read a story today where basically
it should have been Jar Jar. Hold on a minute. I just thought of this now. It should have been Jar Jar.
That's right. Your whole theory that, his whole theory was that that Jar Jar was going to be the Sith Lord that nobody was
Not
talking
my
about.
theory. I buy into that.
Yeah. But no, so
hold on. What about wearing the Sith robe? What were your thoughts on that?
It's not a Sith robe. That's the same robe he was wearing in Jedi.
Yeah, right, but he was teetering, going dark in Jedi, and then he went light. So then he flipped the thing down, and it was gray, right? So like he thought he was going to go back to like the black signifies he's still teetering dark side. Am I wrong?
No, I think black robes might have just been on sale that week, dude. I think you might be reading too much into that. No, so I mean,
Coles blocks.
Right. So no, the Luke thing was when the hood flips down and it's Luke, like I said, I had written that off as even an option. So that was absolutely a holy shit moment. My question, the one, and I can't figure out if this is a plot hole or not, but so Dark Troopers in the games and in the earlier storylines were at least partially human. They were cyborgs. And so they were force sensitive.
It's third.
Okay, but they were force sensitive. So the Dark Troopers that are now purely robotic, why do they stop attacking when Luke lands unless they are force sensitive? And is that the indication that we have force sensitive robots?
I don't know.
I mean, probably just to pause and identify the new threat to see if it's worse than the current threat.
I vote Randy.
Just general threat.
I don't have a theory. I just thought it made for better screen. And you know what else pissed me off? So like I went to one more thought. The stormtroopers, like they did a really good job of humanizing the sand people and making them look like normal or like empathizing with them. Mm-hmm. They've made Luke, they gave him his badass Darth Vader Rogue One moment, right? They did it the same thing for Boba Fett, but they've taken stormtroopers back 40 years. I'm just being funny with that line, but they made them look like bumbling buffoons. Like they suck in every, they're supposed to be the most feared group and all of the, and then in Clone Wars, they're awesome.
Well, because they're clones.
They suck.
because they're clones, and at this point they're back to being human again, like normal people
just
that they've recruited.
Recruits like Finn.
Oh, because they're all Finns.
No, they're all individual.
No, like there was
at
one
this point.
scene.
All the clones have dead because clones had accelerated
They
aging.
were running towards the office, whatever the hell, the front window, the front office.
The bridge.
Thank you, the bridge.
Front office.
And the stormtroopers got to yell out like, "There they are!" So they turn around and shoot them. It's like, why don't you just shoot them? Like if I'm playing Call of Duty and there's a guy running away, I'm shooting him. I'm not going, "Hey, guy."
Well, but the previous episode when they were attacking them on Tython, I mean, like the troopers didn't suck. Like their aim was fairly decent. I mean, you still have the issue of what the hell good is stormtrooper armor? Like it doesn't stop blasters, it doesn't stop farm implements.
Like
so
ice.
like what the guys? I mean, you almost feel bad for him. What the hell's the point for it?
I did think the Moff Gideon Mandalorian kind of not lightsaber duel was kind of dope.
With the staff.
Yeah.
Well, and masterfully played. Like, so that was a hell of a strategic move by him to basically put the Darksaber now in Jin's hand and not be able to have Bo-Katan just take it and go. Like that
doesn't make sense.
That's where I find a hole in everything.
Because of Sabine.
Sabine just gave it to her.
Yeah.
Well, but so and I was reading a lot of discussions about this, and so part of what's happened off screen is Bo-Katan's rule after she took the Darksaber that way, and the invasion and fall of Mandalore. And so, people like to look for omens and bad signs. Well, she didn't win the Darksaber in combat and was the ruler. And so therefore, is that why Mandalore fell, which would make her even more hesitant to just take it from him.
So does the thing actually not work?
No,
it's not one in a duel, or is it like a taking off the helmet thing? It's just
no, dude. Dude, Gideon said it. It's not. It's nothing inherent to the Darksaber. It's the story that has the power.
So, I mean, this thing's gonna pick up in December 2021. We're all can't come fast enough. And like, is this gonna be like Conan? It's like she's gonna be at his throne side and he's gonna take over Mandalore. Like, you know what I mean? Like the speculation of what's going to happen and all this stuff. We didn't even talk about the ending credits, but we'll get there in a minute. But
yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, so like the Mandalorian as a storyline now absolutely has to go to Mandalore. Like there's no other place for it to go. Like that, like they have to go deal with that situation.
But now is Baby Yoda gone? That merchandising juggernaut?
I bet we don't see him for quite a few episodes.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be completely gone from season 3, but I don't think he'll be the focus of season 3.
That's another thing, Dave. I know you told me I was wrong with the timeline, but I've watched like 3 videos that say the same thing as me. Does Baby Yoda get killed by Kylo Ren in Luke's training?
Like I said, so go ahead, Beck.
I just said maybe. I don't know.
Well,
that's one of the first jokes I made.
According
Baby
to
Yoda would be there if he was getting trained by Luke.
Comic book backstory, though, there were some students off planet at the time it happened. So,
yeah, and honestly, like my whole thing is, so I mean, we're sitting 5 years after Jedi at this point, so Ben/Kylo is at most 3 or 4.
I thought it was 10 years post.
Nope, 5.
5, okay.
And so we are at least another 10 to 12 years away from that whole incident.
And that would have put Kylo Ren. Yeah, and Baby Yoda would be 60.
Well, but so that's my point, is just from a practical standpoint, you really think the series is going to run for 10 to 12 years, or are they going to have a time jump?
They're time jumping. They already said. Well, we don't have to see Kylo Ren killing them, but what they said, they are going to time jump, but only like a few years for the next, because I think there's 5 series. 5 is going to be 5 Mandalorian series or seasons. And they said each one's going to have a little bit of a time jump, not a lot, but we're not going to see Baby Yoda dying. They wouldn't dare do that to the humanity. We've gone through enough with the Rona. No, but I mean, just, it's plausible that it happened. But why, if Luke picked him up, why wouldn't he train him? You know what I mean? That's another thing. Unless he went back to Yoda people.
Yeah, which we've never really seen outside of Yaddle. So
Right.
no, and so I mean, and you mentioned the end credit scene, which apparently a lot of people missed the first time
Which
around.
Apparently, people don't watch the credits either because Bib Fortuna was in the credits and you didn't see him all episode, so that should have been a clue.
Yeah.
Read that, Randy.
But no, so yeah, the end credit scene, the nice return to Jabba's palace back on Tatooine.
And Bib
Fennec,
Fortuna's been hitting the buffet, eh?
he's looking very
Got heavy.
Jabba-ish. Yeah, and but it's the same, the Queequeg, the character that was the skiff guard was there. Fennec takes out basically everybody else. Boba Fett comes down the stairs, and but apparently the Gamorrean guards got skinny.
Oh yeah, they were about a buck 80, 220. Yeah, those guys were like huge in the
They got
maybe they're teenagers, Dave. Maybe they're rookie. Maybe they're
they haven't hulked up yet.
Fresh cadets. Yeah.
And then he shoots Fortuna, knocks him off the throne, and that's kind of where it ends with that view.
That was a very Conan ending as well.
And yeah, then they announce the book of Boba Fett coming out at the same time that the next Mandalorian, which led to a flurry of speculation that either the book of Boba Fett was going to be Mandalorian season.
That's what I thought.
That's what it made it seem like, yeah.
Or that it was going to be.
That's Disney Plus's hottest thing. I don't see how they could take it and like completely flip everything and go, towards Boba when everyone's clearly.
There was a crazy amount of like clarifying posts that came out last night, like on Twitter from like Disney folks, that said no, they'll be launching at the same time, different filmings, they are different stories, they are different everything, but yeah, they're both gonna drop at about the same time.
And so here's what I saw in one of those speculation films, that they're gearing up towards a Avengers Assemble movie. So they're trying to tie all these in together with the not Bad Breed. What is it? With the Stormtroopers? Bad Batch. Thank you.
But that's a cartoon
with Ahsoka. But they're trying to tie in all these short films, the Obi-Wan, to build character knowledge and so people know them. And then they're going to have this mega movie. It could be 10 years out, but like bringing everyone together at one point.
I mean, it's not like Favreau hasn't done it before.
Yeah, I mean, up until this season, Ahsoka was completely a cartoon character, so
yeah,
I don't see any problem switching between the two.
No, but then did the next movie they announced, was that Rogue Squadron? What's the next actual movie? Rogue Squadron's just a miniseries also.
Believe that's a series as well.
So 2022, there's a movie coming out.
I don't think they gave a title or anything.
I could have sworn. Maybe I'm wrong. 2023, maybe?
Yeah, the next movie they were talking about, if I recall correctly, was The Old Republic, which they've kind of backed off on, because now it wouldn't surprise me if, seeing the popularity of the series with like Mandalorian and that kind of stuff, it wouldn't surprise me if they dropped that back down and did a series with it.
Rogue Squadron 2023.
It was Rogue Squadron. All right.
Yeah.
And I saw the previews for it. And basically the person that's she's a fighter pilot or fighter. Her dad was like a famous fighter pilot, and she wants to make the greatest fighter, piloted movie that's ever been made. So that's her ambition for this.
So she didn't work on Top Gun 2 then?
No, apparently she got snubbed for that. So she's like, screw you, I'll one-up you and I'll do it in space.
I'll do it in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's okay. So, Becky, you came in a little bit late. So overall thoughts, anything you noticed that we didn't talk about?
I was watching you guys talk for a minute. But I don't know. I thought it was great. I thought this episode was great. I really enjoyed the whole season. And I like this, like I was screaming at the top of my lungs at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, waking everyone up in my house with Luke. And you guys know, or well, Dave knows, like I'm a huge Rogue One fan. So to have like that Luke scene mimicking the Rogue One scene, which I love.
I was hoping it wasn't gonna, with the fog, the green saber going down. I was hoping it wasn't that. Like at least they kept it authentic, or at least made it his. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did anybody else feel like this episode was rushed? Or
No.
they squeezed too much into it? I feel like this could have been either longer or 2 episodes compared to all of the other episodes in this season. This one felt rushed, whereas everything else felt stretched to just about right. This one felt like they could have taken a little more time with it.
I don't feel like it felt rushed. I feel like I wanted more because I enjoyed it so much. How about that? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
They could have, like,
that's my bitch. Is now we have to wait another year, literally a year.
Well, they might. I heard another rumor was a big series that they're going to drop in as Frog Lady. I think huge anticipation for that one.
That no.
Okay.
Please tell
that's
me
why I'm
that's
wearing
not
the green.
I was
No,
confused on one thing with the infiltration of the actual starship itself, and how she drove how she flew the fighter into the landing area.
the Battlestar Galactica launch tube.
Yeah. It's like that didn't make any sense to me. Technology or the engineering of it. It's like, why don't you just fire into it and that would just take care of it, right?
Well, because they were trying to get themselves on the ship.
By the engineering of it.
See, I had the
I
advantage
got
of
that.
watching it at 3 a.m. after drinking a couple of bottles of wine. So I didn't like question
weren't questioning
engineering
anything?
at all. I was just
You
like,
know,
fuck,
in an
yes,
asteroid
let's
field,
go.
though, wouldn't it all the rocks go inside? That's kind of dumb.
Well, so and honestly, like that was my question, like just from a sheer physics. So you have this launch tube, which again, high Battlestar Galactica, which shoots the ships out through the 2 front fins of the ship. So
Right.
like if you're a random asteroid, or more to the point, if you're an attacking fighter that isn't trying to land in the bay, don't you just have to damage that little aisleway between the 2 fins, and then nobody can launch ships?
They have shields, Dave.
Okay,
Ray shields.
Yes. Pew pew shield.
pew pew shields. Nice.
And then what about that? Why would you put the Dark Troopers in an airlock?
Well, they had to. I mean, the
They
previous
drew
episode
too much
with them,
power, right?
they had to be able to fly off the ship to go get Baby Yoda. So.
They couldn't walk to the TIE fighter. Because that's the one thing that's the only thing that I got right. I'm like, how are they going to get rid of them? I go, they're going to put them in an airlock and dump them. But then they got the Iron Man thrusters and they got back in. So,
Well, again, Favreau.
right.
Yeah.
Where was I going? And then so we've got the behind the scenes, the gallery, which were phenomenal earlier on, for the Mandalorian drops Christmas Day. So kind of looking forward to that.
Is it going to be just one episode, or are they going?
I
Because I
haven't
heard it
heard
was
that-
just going to be one
As
episode.
a guy, I haven't heard that it's not going to be more than one. So yeah.
I'm going to have to squeeze it into between my 17th viewing of A Christmas Story. So we'll see how that works.
You're going to be watching Wonder
TBS
Woman
all day.
84, and you know damn well and good you
I
won't.
totally am. Wait,
Yeah.
not this Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 drops Christmas.
Yeah, I
Day.
know. Right. But you said a Mandalorian episode is going to drop.
No,
Christmas Day.
the behind the scenes, like remember the gallery that they did?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was all the behind the scenes with the
Galleria,
directors and that kind of stuff. They're doing a behind the scenes, another one that drops Christmas Day.
Got it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really the finale, Bob. They're
Yeah,
really
season 2
dropping
is
the
just a
finale.
special.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Matt, you hopped in a little bit late. Thoughts, comments?
No, I enjoyed it. I watched it twice, of course, but because there's a few things that you missed the first time around. Just the Ming-Na Wen, and just the way that they infiltrated the ship itself. I thought it was actually kind of spectacular, and with Katie Sackhoff and then her sidekick, the way that they all work together is like there's something there for season 3.
Which I
and how they're-
loved that little scene
What?
back in the beginning of the episode where her sidekick looks at Boba Fett and goes, "Oh, I didn't know sidekicks were allowed to speak," and it like whatever the Star Wars equivalent of the pot calling the kettle black was. Yeah.
What's the
I
what's
enjoyed
the bad
it. I
word
really
that they
did enjoy
introduced?
it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
No, you're good. Go for it, Bob.
I was like, they were pointing out that they all swear in every episode, and it's
It
like,
was very Battlestar Galactica had like frack and Felger carb and that it was that kind of stuff.
does anyone know it? Because I'm trying to remember it. It's like Jindaric or something
what did
stupid.
I'd have to go back and watch it a third time to listen.
No, but
for
it's in every episode.
Like that's a
Somebody
bad
mutters
thing,
it.
Matt.
Okay.
Dank Ferrick.
Dank Ferrick, thank you.
Dank Ferrick. All right.
And then Chris fast and whatever.
Where did that come from? Does anyone know?
I don't know. You're a nerf herder. I don't know.
Don't
But
make
no,
me
so
say
yeah,
mom's
so
name.
now here we are.
Glenn Ferrick.
Yeah, Glenn Fittich. I don't know. But no, so yeah, I mean, I'm a little, I am more than a little annoyed that we're waiting a year for both Mandalorian season 3 and Boba Fett. Although I get it, and I truly think this is the evil Disney mastermind at work, because like all of those and I think we might have talked about this last week, like all of the initial plans that people signed up for with Disney Plus were basically expiring in November. And so now that's everybody's annual renewal cycle. And so, no, we're not going to give you anything you're really here for until December. So you're going to have to renew for another year, you jackwads. Gotcha.
See, now here's my thing on this is like, typically when series go like kind of like Shameless, if it's, there's like a year break and you're like, the hell happened last season? I think with this one, I think we were so dialed into it, and it was not necessarily a simple story, but it was. That it's not like I'm going to need to watch it again the week before just to so I'll be able to catch up, because I think we'll just fall right into it. Right, so will I.
Well, and one of the things that I thought was really cool is they said the viewership for Clone Wars has gone through the roof ever since the Ahsoka episode.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of curious actually, because are they going to continue with the CGI version of Luke Skywalker with Mark Hamill, or are they going to bring in somebody that closely resembles Luke Skywalker, like Stan Sebastian?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Is this would have been a good opportunity to introduce a new actor for the character.
Right. I don't think so.
I don't think you're going to see much of him, honestly. I wouldn't
expect to.
I think season 3, a lot of it is I don't think we're going to travel as much. I think we're going to be on Mandalore for most of it and watching the struggle.
If it was that Stan guy though, do you think the fan base would have went nuts if it wasn't the CGI version, if it was an actor?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know
if it would have been as emotional. To be honest, to have a different actor in it, to go back to what you were watching as a kid, in the original 3, and have all of that familiarity, and R2. We haven't even talked about R2 coming in and how that was.
What the hell did R2 say to? Yeah, what the hell did R2 say to Grogu? I want to know.
He said beep boop bop boop beep boop beep. True story.
I talked to different people, and people were people were saying he was excited to see him, and then some people were saying that since Yoda beat him up so much, he was not excited to see another being like Yoda. So
right.
Well, R2 would have seen
light went from red to blue.
Yeah, Jedi Temple. R2 would have encountered him there. So
well, sure, yeah.
I saw a speculation that maybe R2 was the one that saved him from the purge.
See, I've been reading more and more that it's Mace Windu.
I could only hope.
We didn't see him die on screen.
Right.
I would love to see Mace Windu.
The best meme is how he looked in Black Snake Moan with like his lightsaber. He's got the big eyes look, and he's got the receding white, hairline.
Well, and that's the thing, you got him all, you'd have him all scarred up from the lightning and missing an arm. Having him like step out of the shadows would be a hell of a reveal moment.
I'm sick of these MFing Dark Troopers on this MFing on the starship. Yeah. But like, so talk to me about this. Like, we got into it a little bit with spoilers, and Mark's like, well, hey, you should, there's two sides to it, right? Like the team Mark, which is like, you should just watch it when it comes out. Then there's like, other people that are like, I was just on my Google homepage. There's a picture of Luke and Baby Yoda.
Dude, I was getting news alerts
at 8 a.m. Like when it dropped, and it's like, thank God I didn't watch it. I watched it during lunch break, but some people can't until that night, and by then you don't even bother opening up anything.
Well, so
that's why you stay up until 3 a.m.
The Becky solution.
That's exactly why you do it.
Well, and so like I said, especially on Facebook, there's an easy solution for it. Bob, you remember the old message board days? Every BBS, every message board software had a spoiler tag.
Yeah.
Where like if you wanted to hide what you were posting about, you just encapsulated it in the spoiler tag, and then somebody had to deliberately click on it to read it. Facebook already has this technology. They use it all the time with, warning may contain graphic or sensitive content, yada, 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 click to reveal, but it's only available to the moderation team. Why not give that to us to let us self-censor what we're posting, or at least be able to hide what we're posting, especially when it comes to, spoilers and that kind of stuff? I think it'd be a perfect solution for the problem.
Yeah, Reddit has that feature.
Yeah, well, yeah, Reddit's a glorified BBS. That's
Yeah.
It's no,
it is, Randy.
You can't stop. You can't stop Google or your news feed. That's the thing. Like, why are they like? All they had to do was do clickbait title, and then run big.
And then if you want to click through to it. Yeah.
Right. Then spoiler. Don't have the picture going. It's basically a holy shit. The Mandalorian ending, or season 2 ending was glorious. Spoiler
I have no
alert.
sympathy for any of you. You should have stayed up and watched that shit.
I didn't get it ruined. No, it was a surprise to me. But
it wasn't ruined. I watched it at 7:30.
You watched it pretty early because you were messaging me. Because like at 4 a.m, I was on Facebook talking. Like I didn't
her ever living mind.
I didn't like spoil anything, but I was like, holy fucking shit. And then you messaged me later that morning, like, holy fucking shit, is what you wrote back to me, Dave.
Yeah, I'm glad a lot of people said watch the ending credits. I would have never have done it. There would be no point to it.
They're so good. I always
watched the
them.
ending. I watched the credits for the artistry and the stills that they put out there, but there were none of that really. So I would have been confused and would have stuck through the credits personally. But since someone said, hey, watch, Dave, you said, hey, watch to the end.
Well, yeah, because it's not like they've ever had a post-credit scene before. So, it's right. Not something you would be looking for. And so that's why a lot of people miss it. And like Ray and a couple of the other guys were like, wait, what? There's a what? Okay, guess I'm watching it again.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what, though? It's funny. I did see the CGI Luke, and I paid no mind. I thought nothing of it. I saw it. I don't know what website I went to. It was just him. That was it. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, I didn't even I kind of glossed over it. But then when that happened, I'm like, oh my God, that website showed like a full body picture of him. I'm like, I didn't even dawn on me that was it.
Well, and that's the thing. Because it's because there are. Dude, I was watching full on flame wars break out on friends' walls, and people unfriending each other and people blocking each other over. Because and that's the thing. Like Becky, to your point, I kind of agree with Mark that if it's something that's important to you, you're gonna find the time to watch it.
Yeah.
Like I've always said, movies, give it at least a week and a half to 2 weeks past the release, because it takes a little bit of effort to actually get to a movie theater. TV shows, especially in the on-demand age, at least a day, maybe two. Like, you know, and then even then, like, you know, couch it and hide it as much as you can in your post, just to not ruin things for people. Like, because I mean, let's be real, that was a hell of an amazing moment. And if I had
That was not expected by anybody.
no. And if I had known that walking in, I'd have been pissed. I absolutely would have been
Because
pissed.
that moment, the green lightsaber slicing them up, watching on the TVs, I mean, that was like as much like emotion that I've gotten watching this in the 2 years that this thing's been on. You know, period.
When the green lightsaber, I kind of just, you know, perked up, and then I sat forward on the couch a little bit. I'm like, who is that? Okay, it can't be this person. Then I'm trying to guess the entire time.
Well, so yeah, that's what we were talking about before. Is like, so my first thought, you know, X-Wing lands, Baby Yoda perks up and does like the Sony dog thing. My first thought was Luke, because he was the only, okay, it's a Jedi in an X-Wing, but it was like, oh no, they've completely avoided that storyline and said they're going to, so it can't be him. So all right, who else can it be? And then like, well, wait a minute, green saber. Well, wait a minute, glove. What it kind of has to
as
be
soon as that glove, I knew.
Yeah, once a glove, like I didn't even need the belt buckle, like part, like.
Maybe
the green lightsaber kind of narrowed it down, but the glove finalized it.
Maybe
and
Luke
then
was
you
just
also
the
had
Uber
like the
driver
hilt
picking up
of the
Grogu.
lightsaber. Like if you were looking, like everything's like completely recognizable at that point.
Yeah. What were you saying, Matt? Sorry.
Yeah, I think Luke was just the Uber driver picking up Grogu and taking him to his final destination.
Right.
So I think there's another Jedi.
Your Uber driver is near. Well, and dude, and R2 was a phenomenal touch. Like that, you know, that just the continuation of at least R2 having been present through because I mean there is that one fan theory that's been out there since day one that Star Wars is literally nothing more than the recollection of R2D2. And
that was remember the samurai movie that we talked about?
Yeah.
It was the two buffoon characters, the tall one and the short one, and it's all modeled after that.
Yep.
And if you watch, that's how the war and everything is through their eyes. Yeah.
Because he was R2 has been there through every step of the way.
Have you watched that samurai movie, Matt?
What's the name of it? I haven't.
Just Google what Star
of it?
Wars based on samurai movie, and then it's the first thing that pops up, and it's been on demand lately.
All right.
And I sat and watched it, and the similarities and like the bad guy at the end with the staff was like it's a total Vader.
The Hidden Fortress.
Hidden Fortress. It's a really good watch.
Hidden Fortress.
It's a really good watch. It's black and white.
All right.
But it's a easy to follow story, and it's
19. Dang.
Well, and so that's the thing. I mean, you know, Matt, you talk about, you know, watching
1958.
The credits. Oh yeah. Well, so I mean, you talk about watching the credits for the artwork and that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, that's if you go back and look at the original concept art, like Vader was very samurai-ish. That original armor could not have been any more samurai related, and that's why it's, you know, lightsabers, because it's sword fighting and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so yeah, it draws heavily on that nonsense. So I guess the big question is, so what are you watching for the next year now?
Baywatch reruns.
Well, in what, 3 weeks, WandaVision comes out.
True.
What is that?
The Marvel
MCU.
With Wanda and Vision. WandaVision. It's in the name. I don't know.
That's Wanda Sykes.
No,
Scarlet Witch.
The Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
I literally had Kyle from down in Toledo, actually. He's like, hey, Whamageddon rules post. Does it have to be Wham, or, you know, like, do I get eliminated if it's a cover? I'm like, dude, it's in the name of the game. Like, it's the name is what you have. Yes, it has to be the Wham version. Don't be an idiot. Yeah, so I guess that's really, I don't know. Are we wrapped on Mando?
Yeah, I would just like to say, it's excited as everyone is about Mando. Like, what I'm really excited for is that Cassian Andor series that's coming 2 years. Like, I have to wait 2 years for that. Because like,
you are the.
I will like happily come down and like
break One
down. Yeah.
and that's funny. That's the one I said was going to be hot garbage.
No. Oh, go to hell.
I hope
Bob.
I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
But then you also have to remember her favorite character is K2SO, so it'll
I
depend
love
on
K2.
it'll depend on whether or not he shows up.
Oh. Ask Jamie
He'll
about that
be
one.
there. He's going to be there. All right. Well, thanks for having me on to chat.
Yeah, and I'll shoot you a link later because I chatted with Lauren and she said she's absolutely down to hop on later.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
See you
boy.
later. Let me go get some wine. I'll be back.
Thanks for the invite, fellas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. We're just gonna be talking about regular crap from here on out. So yeah.
Yeah, I got. But yeah, I'll probably pop on a little bit later as well.
Okay.
Cool. All right, fellas. Enjoy your evenings. Bob, good to see you.
Likewise, man.
Randy,
Always a pleasure.
yeah. Randy, always good to see you too. See you, fellas.
So I guess we'll
Dave, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'll tell you, man.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll kick off the tech talk with how Gmail almost made me shit my pants.
I really want to. Yeah, like that's all you sent across in the notes, and I was like, wait, what?
So you know what? I had to send a link over from my work email to my Gmail.
Okay.
I wanted to email myself because I had to open it up on my personal, and I get a did not send or bounce back, and it's like the recipient's name is not a thing,
Okay.
and I'm like, all right, and I look to see if I spelled my last name right. Yeah, I did. I do it again, bounces. Do it again, bounces. I'm like, okay, maybe it's some Office 365. I'll go in from Yahoo. I go into Yahoo to email my Gmail, bounces. So now I'm like, it does not exist. So I'm like, okay, wait, am I logged into Google? So
what
now
did
I'm doing
do?
like,
Yeah.
I'm back. So then I finally, after I do all my tech support and go through everything, I Google Gmail down, and like, sure as shit, there was like a nationwide outage for a blip.
Oh.
And during that blip, I happened to be emailing myself, and I didn't get email for an hour and a half. And then all of a sudden just piled in.
That's not a good feeling at all.
But that's the first time, at least that I was cognizant of that since I've gotten Gmail in 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess, but man, I was like, did I lose my email address? Like,
like what the exactly? What the hell did I do?
And it's going through my mind, like, what am I going to have to make my email to be? The guy in California's got the
right.
whole
Yeah.
one.
Now I got to create a new email address, and the only thing left is my Uncle Spanks the Monkey at gmail.com. Damn
right.
it. I got
Big Papa 69.
But no, so we had we touched on it briefly. So HBO Max, thankfully, is now available on Roku systems. I went ahead and set it up and installed it. So much happier with it than I was trying to navigate it on my phone and screen it to my TV.
That app sucks.
I do it on the Roku. It's not terrible. Like I'm kind of like you were complaining about navigation and that kind of stuff. Hey, here's all the DC stuff. Here's all the Warner Brothers stuff. Here's the different, I think they call them hubs, if I recall correctly. Here's the different hubs you can hop into and navigate.
The organization's fine. Is when you're playing a movie.
See, I haven't hit any issues yet. Then again, I've only watched a couple things on it.
But the flight attendant is great, by the way.
I actually added that to my list because I remembered you had mentioned that before.
Yep.
And then, like I said, like I feel like I'm sure I'm late to the game, but like I've just recently started playing around a lot more with Pluto and Tubi. Tubi or not Tubi. And like Pluto is outstanding. Like for a free TV alternative, dude, they have so much. Like they have their true crime genre has like 20 different channels. It's a channel that's just CSI 24 hours a day. Law and Order 24 hours a day, whatever you want to watch. There's a Baywatch channel 24 hours a day. 90210. There's the 80s Rewind channel. I think I watched Blue Thunder followed by Girls Just Want to Have Fun when I was running shows last night. It's great. I'm really I'm digging it.
I will give it a whirl.
It's worth it. So there were two. So obviously, we've got two new. The Moderna vaccine got approval. Of course, with any new thing that's out there are going to be scams that are coming along with them. For the love of God, people, do not fall for any phone calls from Microsoft tech support or anyone saying they can get you on the fast track list to get a vaccine. That does not exist.
Whoever does crap like this, there's a really, I wouldn't want them in hell because I don't want them with me. But there's a place for you. Like, can't you just go? Like, I'd rather you sell toilet paper on Amway.
Just use your powers for good. Like if you
don't even have to do them for good. Like,
if you would just use 10% of that energy into something positive, we'd be better.
Yeah, he's asking for Medicare numbers and bank account information
numbers, and then we need your credit card number to reserve the vial for you, and
they have to remind you that the Social Security Administration will not sign you up to receive a vaccine.
No.
They can get you on the waiting list.
No, none of that. No. Yeah,
that's bananas that people do that like already. God.
And then there is the FDA just approved a home test kit, which is a good thing. I mean, I know, in fact, I've referred quite a few people. The state has a really good program or section of their website where you can find like free testing locations or for cost testing locations. And I've been funneling a lot of people through that. But
is it the same one like I heard when you do like the one that's ready in like 2 hours, the rapid test?
Some of them are rapid tests, some of them are PCR. Yeah.
There's a 5-day one, and then there's the rapid. I always heard the rapid could not be more inaccurate.
That's the problem with the rapid test is that it's. I believe the last time I heard it was about a 30%. God, I wish we had kept Becky on because she would know. It's about a 30% inaccuracy rate,
it's insanely huge.
That's not a good inaccuracy rate to have.
You expect 3%, like
right. Yeah, no, not 30. So and I guess just from the COVID files continued, places that don't want to close. The latest one is Andiamo's that has now lost their liquor license after the health department stopped by not once but several times when they were having wedding parties of 75 to 100 people. Yeah.
And this was the day after they said, we'll be good and follow the state's guidelines.
Yeah, because they were one of the people behind the whole lawsuit that got shot down.
Yeah.
And dude, and I get it. Like I said, I mean, as supportive as I've been over the whole thing, like I do, even I'm starting to have a lot of questions because some of the stuff doesn't seem to really add up or make a ton of sense. And I feel for him. I'm thrilled that this latest package that got pushed through specifically includes funding for live entertainment venues and that kind of stuff. Really hope it actually pans out that they're the ones that get it.
And not mega churches down in Texas.
Yeah, or California. Looking at you,
Joel California.
Austin.
I don't know where he's from.
Yeah.
Got $4 million.
Yeah. And by the way, is a religious organization and so doesn't pay taxes. Let's keep that in mind. Don't forget.
Is that guy worth like $1 billion?
It's ridiculous. Before my head explodes about that, let's have my head explode about this. So apparently Seth MacFarlane is remaking Revenge of the Nerds, which I'm in. Like, by and large, I'm a fan of whatever Seth MacFarlane chooses to do.
No. We did this take. We argued about it before, and they've won. I mean, Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. They won, right? And God, why can't I think
there's
of his
nothing
name?
left to revenge?
Why can't I think of his name? The quarterback for the that's been on all the sitcoms, and every time you go to a sitcom, the sitcom will die. Jefferson from Married with Children.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah.
He's not working. So So they've won. What could you possibly? And you're not allowed to bully anymore because then they'll protest you, or they'll kick you out of school. So how are you going to be able to bully nerds in college?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, apparently, the one story I read said they were taking it in a different direction, and it was just about like like a day in the life of a nerd, which, okay, whatever. How fun could that really be?
Watch him play video games for 2 hours. What a great movie.
I mean, the only way that story works is if they have the nerd have a friend like you, Bob. Like they need the me, but they need the sales guy to like be that force pulling them into random situations where wacky mayhem ensues.
That was Booger.
There you go. That's what you need.
Right. I do have a "Gimme Head Till I'm Dead" T-shirt.
Of course you do. So, dude, speaking of gimme, I want to make sure I get this name right. Dr. Philip, I'm going to go with Pevin.
McCracken. Don't call me McCracken.
Yeah, no, Dr. Philip Pevin, who is now 104 years old, apparently fathered hundreds of children throughout the area, because as women were coming to him with fertility issues, he would just use either his sperm or one of his doctor partner's sperm instead of
How tough would it have been if he knows how to extract it and inject it? How hard is it?
Say every guy knows how to extract it.
Right. But how hard would it did he have to use his own, or was he did he have this God thing that he wanted to be like,
oh, that's
father?
And that was part of the interview. They said, yeah, he was almost more of a scientist than he was a doctor at this point. Because the story, was basically
in the 50s they were doing lobotomies if you were gay, like, for crying out loud, like, in the name of science. So yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so like, that's why I said, this, I don't think this is a technology question. This is an ethics question. I mean, because lady, like, did the whole 23andMe thing, and basically discovered that she had a half brother, and they both traced back to the same doctor that her mom went to.
Imagine you have 150 half brothers and sisters,
dude. Especially, and we've made this joke before. Like, Detroit is the smallest big city that there is. Like, we've all fooled around with each other at some point, and the creepy factor.
It's like Iceland.
Right. Yeah, you have to have the degrees of separation. Yeah, now they have to update all that. You have to have the degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a little amazed to find out that there was a drug pipeline heading to the University of North Carolina and Duke that dealt. It was. I want to make sure I get this again. I want to show you 200 pounds of weed and 2 keys of coke on a weekly basis.
That's not a lot if you think about it. I'm just saying,
dude.
It's not even an army duffel bag. That's like a suicide.
Okay, 2 keys is, dude. 200 pounds of weed is a lot more weed than you think it is.
It's an army duffel bag.
It's bigger than that. Trust me.
Okay, then it's a lot.
I'm but like, it's just from a sheer. I mean, because you think about, so you've got pounds, and then you've got eighths, and then you've got dime. So you've got. Just think of how that gets disseminated out. I mean, that's a lot of drugs on a weekly basis.
It's a lot of money.
Holy shit. Was it 1.25 million a week, I believe, if I recall correctly?
1.5 in sales.
Yeah.
And you're getting 73 months behind bars. And then, that was the joke. Who would have thought during Christmas you could smoke weed with your family, and the illegal part would be getting together with your family?
Hey, you got to bring a dish to Puff Puff Pass. That's how family gatherings work now.
Yeah, it's great for my glaucoma.
And then your favorite topic, Bob. I love that. No, actually, I don't love it. Kind of freaks the hell out of me. An AI has now co-piloted and flown a U-2 spy plane.
Nope.
We are truly, I feel like we say this at least once every 4 months. We are truly not going to be happy until we have activated Skynet and take ourselves out as a species.
At least leave what's so hard about leaving the Nintendo pilots back at Houston?
Just
Auto. That's how they've been bombing the Middle East.
The inflatable Auto from Airplane. That's all we need.
That too.
Let him do his thing.
What's the point of this? Is it like the Google car, and it just it's collecting data?
Well, I mean, so the U-2 is a spy plane, that flies at super high altitude, and they've always had issues with pilots being able to sustain being up there that long and that kind of stuff.
Why not have, like I said, the Nintendo pilots that bombs the Middle East every day? Like,
I don't know, maybe signal strength. I don't know why.
you can do Wi-Fi in the space in the space in the satellites. So why can't you? The internet's come from the satellites. You know that, right?
It's dude. Somebody asked me, they're like, so what is a technology that you fundamentally understand but still seems like magic to you? And I'm like, I can be driving in my car and it's moving, and yet 80s music comes to me from space. Like that's outstanding.
Well, just be careful with the next generation cell phones. It'll fry your brain. So just
and whatever, it's technology. Give it to me.
I know. Me too. I'm just saying.
We are. Hey, you want to buy a haunted house?
Not that one.
Apparently Erebus from in Pontiac, that everyone in this area I'm sure is familiar with, is up for sale for the low price of $14.5 million.
I just thought it was funny that their name, the brothers that own it, their last name is Terabus.
Yeah. I remember there was a story that came out like when they named it, and that's why they named it that. Yeah.
See, now the business is going for 10 million and the building is going for 4.5. So now, like, in the area of Pontiac that building is not a $4.5 million building.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
But like the business,
two buildings. The haunted house is the $10 million business, and then there's an escape room next door that's 4.5. So two buildings, two businesses, but
like I mean, Erebus is what? It still holds the Guinness Book of World Record for the largest haunted house. It's nationally known. It's it's an attraction.
It's definitely got some cool factor to it. I just I mean, somebody might buy it.
Well, soccer, whatever, with the Ultimate Soccer in Pontiac sold for 30 million.
No shit.
And it's like, yeah,
did not know that.
Yeah, United Shore bought it. Because ironically, I was meeting with a client. This guy comes into Starbucks, shakes everybody's hand, and he's talking. They knew each other. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, that guy owns Ultimate Soccer." And I go, "Oh, that thing's for sale for like 30 million. He's a crackhead." Like 2 weeks later, like United Shore buys. I'm like, I go, I guess I was wrong on that one.
I'm a moron. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Nice. And so an update to a story that we've talked about in the past. Folks may remember the kid that got mad. Well, not kid. I mean, I think he's in his 20s, if I recall correctly, late 20s. That got angry when his parents threw away his porn collection when he moved away from home, and they didn't want to store it. And he sued them. And I think that's the last time we talked about it, was that the lawsuit had been filed. He has now won this lawsuit against his parents so it was 12 boxes full of porn VHSs that it comprised of 1,605 individual titles, and then 2 boxes of what were only described as toys. So I don't really know. That could be blow up doll, could be anything. But yeah, so bro had a lot of porn. And when he moved to Indiana, his parents felt creepy having it in the house, and so they threw it away. And so now he has won a lawsuit against them where the value has been placed at about $25,600. And apparently he is entitled to triple damages. So if this dude, I really want to know if this dude's going to follow through and be that big of a dick that he's going to try to get $75,000 out of his parents.
How you going to find like Big Plumpers Volume 14 like now and VHS?
Yeah, the studio's been defunct for 30 years.
Right, like how are you going to replace?
I said that's the thing. You can't replace it.
And how do you know the ones you had?
Well, apparently he had a list, and I guess they brought in an expert from the what was it, the house of, it wasn't the house of porn, but the house of something out in Las Vegas to basically evaluate what his collection actually was, because she's the expert.
You know,
the Erotic Heritage Museum in Las Vegas.
It sounds so classy. The Erotic Heritage Museum.
It's better than the Smut Palace. Actually, I'd go if it was the Smut Palace.
Vintage porn.
So we always talked about, I had an interesting conversation with somebody that was talking about their restaurant concept that's in Chicago is performing at 300% sales after COVID. They basically they had like 6 different products, like product lines, whether it be Mexican food, a chicken sandwich, and they created ghost brands for those products, put like a 4 menu option, right? And then basically set up like drive-through bags, like perfected the home delivery.
So yeah,
right?
we talked about this a little bit last week with the guy from Mabel Gray. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is another, but like there's, this guy's up, is literally this one chain is up 300% their sales. But now, I'm looking at this article now. It says Michigan, bars fight back with opening up a virtual bar.
See, and like I said, and that was my question that went along with that story is why is the title of that article fighting back? Why is it not just adapting like evolving. The rest of us to stay alive?
Yeah, adapting, evolving, innovating.
No,
offering
right.
new service.
Yeah, this isn't like I'll get you. It's no, I'm trying to keep my business open. And I kind of don't. The things I like are like kind of like what like Nick Britsky does is like that home mixology where you like corporate is doing it where they're shipping people boxes of stuff and then you can make the stuff. Like I think that's the thing. Like it's not. I don't want to just sit here and freaking guzzle booze. Like I want to sit. Like if we're gonna go through this process and be on video.
I mean, I'm perfectly okay with that. Just so we're clear.
I'm just saying. Basically, yeah, these like master classes and stuff I think are great. Like the happy hour thing. How do you moderate if there's like 60 people in a room? Again, the same reason why we're not
dude,
networking.
in that situation, nobody talks. It's it's basically the auditorium concept where you've got like the person who's presenting is the big screen and everybody else just kind of sits there.
See, I'm looking at the virtual happy hour.
See, and that's like, well, again, that's to the point of why we haven't done a virtual networking event.
No,
it doesn't seem practical.
I had to do an HOA meeting where you had to like raise your hand and then you had to say, okay, you got the mic, and then,
right?
One question. I'm muting you now.
Mr. Garrison, I mute everybody.
Right.
That was Mr. Mackey. That wasn't Mr. Garrison. Sorry.
Now that we get into the dumb.
Well, no, but I mean, so I like the concept, and I've been watching some of the posts in some of the bartender groups and some of the Michigan bar groups where they're saying like it's actually like I mean, if you can pull it off, it's amazing. Because it's like 28. They said this one girl was saying her bar did it, and it was $28 per person, and they weren't even supplying the booze. Like you still had to go out and buy whatever the ingredients were for the drink they were going to teach you how to make, and bartender, whoever it was that hosted it got $28 times number of people to just do that.
I think Mabel Gray can get away with it because it's another level. Ken Duffy's get away with it. The corner bar. Right.
Well, but hey, here's how you pour a Pabst.
Right. Here's how you snap it, Kessler's or like, what do you do karaoke night? And we're like, okay, now Bob's up, and you know what I mean?
Dude, there's been a lot of those that have gone on.
Like, yeah, you'll never find, and you're sitting in your living room. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's been a thing. I've not participated, but I've watched a few of them just to see how it goes. It's entertaining.
So what's your thoughts on the FDA regulating French dressing?
Dude, okay. So this was, other than the porn story, one of the dumbest things that I've read this entire week. I had no idea that our government actually spent time, effort, energy, and money to regulate French dressing.
So here's the thing, like in Germany, they have Reinheitsgebot. Everyone's pretty familiar with it. It's the German beer purity law.
Yeah.
It's from 1500 or I don't even know when. But like since 1950, the federal government has been regulating the ingredients that go into French dressing. And now they're announcing they want to get out of the business. And then the quote is, which even dumber, the standard does not appear necessary to ensure that the product meets consumer expectations. And it's no longer necessary to promote honesty and fair dealing in the interest of consumers.
Like, I feel like there's a story that was left out of that article. Like there has to have been some great French dressing caper, like around like in the late 40s that happened that led to this being a thing that we're not aware of?
Dave, there's hundreds of foods apparently. Mayonnaise, bread, ketchup, milk chocolate, make up the agency controls. The rules are more than 75 years old and they're not even being used.
I feel like some things like chocolate should be regulated, like
percentage
you
of cacao and all that stuff.
and
Yeah.
how much? Yeah.
But they're using like don't they use fructose corn syrup and all that? Like, it's not like there's nothing that makes you have only 4 ingredients. There's so many additives and bullshit in all this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's more like getting at least what you're saying, advertising. But yeah, French dressing is weird.
I've been eating French dressing, I think, since I've been like 8.
Yeah,
It's like the worst one, hands down.
Yeah, I'd much rather, if I'm going for a bright orange dressing, I'd rather go for Catalina than this.
Isn't that the same thing?
It's a similar.
Oh.
But
have you ever seen an ostrich pillow?
Yes.
It came into my feed today, and basically it's a pillow that there's a hole for your nose and your mouth.
Yeah.
Everything else covers your head like a helmet, all the way down to your neck.
Yeah, and then
but there's 2 holes,
you put your
like where the bull horns go, so you can put your hands in there.
Yep.
This has got to be one of the dumbest, hands down, one of the stupidest things I think I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I love that you do not remember that we talked about this when we were still broadcasting at the Russell. Like, that's how old those things are.
You think I remember the Russell?
I know. Yeah, a lot of the nights there, no recollection. I'm stunned they're still around. I mean, I don't know if it's because somebody's trying to keep pushing them or if they're really just all that functional and comfortable. Who knows?
Yeah, the stuff that comes into my feed, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, either what they know about me or what they think I know. Because the one
they think you're going to laugh at and talk about, yeah.
Well, the one was I'm like, oh, that's for Randy. So I got him. I got him that. I got to give it to him yet. I'm not going to spoil it. But like, it's not a wiener decoration on the tree. It's nothing like that
you know of.
So
So I guess let's the story that came out of the Cayman Islands that's causing a little bit of an uproar here in the U.S. kind of, and I mean, the best analogy I go back to is that kid in Singapore that got caught doing graffiti and got caned. Apparently, an 18-year-old girl went down to the Cayman Islands. If you go to the Cayman Islands, you are required to quarantine for 2 weeks. She took off her geofence bracelet that was supposed to keep her in her hotel after I believe it was the second day she was there to go see her boyfriend or whoever in some sort of competition. And they caught her. And initially, it was just going to be like a slap on the wrist kind of thing. And then somebody decided to appeal. And so now it's a big old fine. It's a really big old fine and 4 months in jail.
So the Cayman Islands, the same island that basically houses every casino, online casino, and tax shelter known to man, is putting someone in jail for 4 months because they went outside their hotel because Rona. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
The reason she broke quarantine was because she wanted to watch her boyfriend compete in a jet ski competition.
Okay, then she should have got there 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
So and that's how I like when I look at the people that were getting outraged about it and all that kind of shit. No, don't go to other countries and break their laws. That's how that works.
Well, that's what you figure out what the laws are first.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, you're under quarantine, and she knew. Damn well she knew.
Oh, you could
probably thought
you
probably
could have
thought
bought
you were
the
going to get
tickets without knowing.
No, she probably thought she was going to get a $500 fine, and then like whatever, I'll pay it. If she's flying to Cayman Islands, you know what I mean. She's not poor. So she probably figured she'd get her, but then 4 months in jail. Like, dude, no one would have thought that.
Well, and apparently her dad is, some sort of, does these competitions too, and is getting dropped by sponsors, and yeah.
So the crazy thing is, so listen to this: the lengths people go through to see boyfriends. It reminded me of a story. I was catching up with my cousin because we always get together in between Christmas and New Year's in Canada, and we can't see
yeah.
each other. We can't see each other this year, so we talked on the phone for I don't know, a good hour. And he was saying one of the girls that works for him, he's a dentist, and she's one of the hygienists. She wanted to see her boyfriend in Detroit, and she can't go across the border, so she drove to Toronto, flew to Chicago, drove from Chicago to Detroit, and I'm like, just so she could spend a weekend with her boyfriend. And I'm like, that's what the Canadian citizens are doing to get over here.
I guess I'm surprised. Even going to Toronto, like Toronto to Chicago, aren't you? Well, no, I guess it's only at the border. But yeah, no, but I mean, going back, didn't she have to quarantine?
I don't know. I didn't ask about going back.
I thought it was. I thought they were in the same. But like, it was like when you come back, it's a 2-week quarantine. If you come back,
you don't want to know
US.
my comment. I told him.
I'm sure. Hope it was worth it.
No, I just said it was probably. I go, the dick is good when she's doing all that to go see you.
That's what. Yeah. Hope it was worth it. Well, and I guess we haven't talked about this yet. Dude, apparently this new mutation of COVID that's out in Britain is not screwing around. They had a buddy who's he's a comic book creator. He lives in London, and this entire time he's been posting about just basically how idiotic people are, that kind of stuff. So I mean, it was kind of nice to see that there's another country dealing with the same crap that we are, and then all of a sudden, like their case numbers just started skyrocketing. And he's in London, so he's right in the middle of this whole level 4 lockdown thing they just instantiated. And I guess this new mutation is at least 70% more infectious.
So wait, so there was a strain in April that had the most, that one had the most deaths. That one was the really hard one.
Yep.
Then the other one, the big spike, was in November, and that one was more like a light flu.
Yep.
This is from everything this one's worse than.
Yes.
Which one?
This is worse than both of them as far as they know so far, because there hasn't been enough time. There hasn't been enough time. Yes, this is a new variant.
So you know what it is? You know what I think is going on? It's like when something needs to be shut down, it's like letting out the butterflies in Wuhan. They make a phone call going, release the hounds.
Release the hounds. No,
Yeah.
so, and if you read a lot of the back channel communications that are going on, and this is kind of interesting, is they think this may have been caused actually by a single patient who was immunocompromised. And so they kept pumping them full of remdesivir and Regeneron, trying to knock it out of their system, but didn't keep them hospitalized. And so the COVID that they had kept mutating to stay a step ahead of whatever they were pumping into their system, and got bigger, better, faster, stronger, and wasn't hospitalized, and so kept walking around spreading it to whoever they were usually spreading it to or were going to be spreading it to anyway. And that's why it got so widespread and so virulent so quickly.
Did you hear about the guy that died on the plane?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
There's it's such a split story, because apparently he had a heart attack, but they're like, no, he had Rona. He died of Rona. And they're like, do you just die on like that? And they go, apparently he had the symptoms, but then he had a heart attack also.
Well, I mean,
and it's one of those, did the kick kill him? No, the fall did.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Was he suffering from, basically oxygen deprivation and thickening of the blood that was causing the heart to work harder, which caused the heart attack? I mean,
right.
Back to the UK lockdown. The crazy thing about this is that this is affecting shipping into and out of the country.
Yep.
Which is a huge problem, because all of that's supposed to be done by the end of the year because of Brexit.
That's the thing. Yeah. So now they're getting ready to go through that whole Brexit thing, and they don't know how this is going to impact that.
Yeah, all the channel traffic is
they're
stopped.
an island too, so this is kind of contained. Is it locked down? Can you travel in and out?
No.
Oh, dude, nobody's accepting flights from England right now. Basically all the European countries went, no, we're good. You're out. You're locked out.
No, but what I'm saying, just the rules, if it's on lockdown, how the hell is it still going this strong? Because I can understand the US, we're just open, pretty much.
Just people there on the island it's spreading among residents.
This long? Jeez.
It's a thing.
January 20th, my friends. January 20th.
Right. You see, we've and they've actually been an advertiser on this show before, so I feel a little bad. But Robinhood got slapped with a $65 million fine.
For what?
For misleading people. Go figure. About how easy it would be to make money and how easy it would be to handle stocks and how easy. I mean, you remember that we've talked the story. We've talked about the story about the kid that committed suicide because he went like all of a sudden because of the margin calls that he made, he was like $700,000 in debt in 15 minutes.
No, they should say it's easy to make a trade. It's not easy to make money. That's what they messed up.
Well, so and that's the thing. Like, and I guess like one of the studies that was in this lawsuit was basically people who didn't use Robinhood by and large made more money than people that did.
Oh boy.
I have one share of something for when I signed up for the trial when they were a sponsor, and I got to figure out how to close my account. Like I have to set up link it to a bank account so they can deposit that $1.65 before they'll let me close my account. I'm like, you can have the money, just close my account.
Right. I know. I get something from like Charles Schwab. I have like 83 cents. I'm like, just kill it. Just close it.
Yeah, exactly. It does it not cost you more to mail me these things than it does to
But those dumb lawsuits, it's like saying suing Hershey's because like there's no milk in my chocolate bar.
Red Bull does not actually give me wings. Yeah,
they tried to sue them for that.
They did sue them for that. That's
Oh yeah, and there was the lawsuit back when Pepsi points were a thing where people tried to trade in. Like there was a cash equivalency, so people tried to buy the Harrier jet.
Yeah, because they got it though. They Pepsi said this many things for that, and the guy legitimately got it. Yeah, that was on Pepsi. That was their fault.
Yeah, if you actually put it out there, you have to honor it. That's
it wasn't like coffee's hot. Like no shit. No, this was like, yeah. How much of the money they have to give him anyway? Because like the guy's like, I got a Harrier jet. And they're like, no shit. Yeah, there was some people Japanese suiciding
their points. Yeah. And so, good to see just, we're talking about, all the restaurants that are shut down and all that kind of stuff. Bedrock is doing a thing called Decked Out Detroit, where, they've built a lot of pergolas, around the areas where they have tenants, whether it be restaurants, bars, that kind of stuff, to be open air seating. With heat lamps and all that kind of stuff. And the participating restaurants are all hooked into the app, and you can get, takeout, food from here, drinks from there, or whatever, free parking, all that kind of stuff, which is very, very cool to see.
Gotta do something.
Yeah. So like seeing that. I know, like, dude, I was stunned. What was it? I think Friday and Saturday, I was at DSC. Packed seating again both nights, with an hour plus wait time. And I think that's the thing, like people want to go out and do stuff, and the very few places that are open that are doing it well and doing it safely, I think have a better shot at making it through this. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still not open on Mondays and Tuesdays because those nights were dead. Wednesdays and Thursdays, they're closing at 9 because that's about when the crowd dies. Sundays, they close at 9. But I mean, it is good to see some semblance of traffic, down in that area at all.
Just normalcy. You need normal,
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to Valenti, and he was talking about, like what sports are going to look like, next season. It's like you're going to have to show your vaccination card, papers, please. What's that going to all look like? Are they going to leave it all spaced out still, or
Well, yeah. Apparently, the NHL is getting ready to come back in January with they've realigned all the divisions again. I guess there's a Canada only division so they can keep all the Canadian teams away from the US teams. During all this, they've got, the Wings are back, playing with a lot of the Central teams. So, I mean, it is, I mean, that's a lot of, God, who knows when, full stadiums or, concerts, that kind of stuff. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, well. We're going to wrap things up for this episode 379 of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Becky and Matt for hanging out with us, talking Star Wars, talking Mandalorian. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
Have a good night, folks.